who commit to projects that, quote, create positive change. NPR News, Washington.
The State Department says the U.S. did wait to pay Iran the $400 million it was owed from a decades-old account until the American prisoners were released. But spokesman John Kirby says the money wasn't ransom.
Simultaneously. But obviously, when you're inside that 24-hour period and you already now have concerns about the end game in terms of getting your Americans out, it's prudent, irresponsible for us not to try to maintain maximum leverage.
Now, both events happened January 17th. Kirby spoke after the Wall Street Journal reported the departures of the planes were linked. Construction on an oil pipeline planned to run through 4 states is on hold until a federal hearing in Washington next week. The pipeline would run past the reservation of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in North Dakota. Tribal members and environmentalists argue the pipeline could affect drinking water and also disturb sacred sites. Supporters say the $3.8 billion pipeline would move oil from North Dakota to Illinois while cutting down on trucking and oil trains. Wall Street was higher by the closing bell today. The Dow up 23 points, the Nasdaq up 11, S&P 500 up 4. This is NPR.
Apple relents. Tesla's on fire, sorta. More of that Go thing. Google is dropping. Plus, rumors to picks and your calls coming up next.
Make it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, technologic. Hey,
check this out! Live from studios in South Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
You know, when you said trackers, I thought you said tractors.
No,
and you just had messed up what you were saying.
Well,
but what's even crazier is that we could possibly be talking about tractors on this show.
Sure we could.
It's like those were both, possibility.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, especially that they use GPS, the big ones.
Their own software.
They do.
They want to repair.
That's right. We've talked about that on that. I need to look up and see if there's been an update on that. Matter of fact, I might do that during a break or something.
Well, welcome into the Hey Techie Show.
Yeah.
Where we do talk about tech.
Absolutely. And a little bit of everything else.
And
I've got to do some what do you would call it? Behind the scenes here, starting right off the bat. Last week, and I didn't even tell you guys this, but
okay.
I happened to listen. I listened
listen to the show.
Well, I re-listened to the show for a lot of reasons. Sort of narcissist, isn't it?
Narcissistic.
That's it. Narcissistic. Yes, that would be correct. That word. Yeah. No, what I was going to tell you is I made some major mistakes, and I am one of these people who
not.
No, listen. It was. I don't like getting things wrong, especially about a story. That irritates me, and I'm a corrector. I will correct myself immediately. Not ashamed to do it. It's not going to be like the newspaper where we correct ourselves on the back page. This is right up front.
CNN, we're sorry we edited it.
No, right.
We got caught editing that.
We were talking about Assange, and I said a couple of silly things. I put two things together.
Yeah.
Seth Rich was the man from the DNC that got murdered. And dumbly put that together with he interviewed Assange. It was so funny. I was like, how did I get those two stupid things together? But I did anyway. So what I meant to say is he was interviewed about Seth Rich is what I was trying to say, but it didn't come out. And the other thing is Seth Rich actually the murder happened at like 4:19. I said like 2 a.m. I don't know why.
I don't know why you get on.
Well, I'd heard the story and I'd read it and I just, it just went. But I made a couple mistakes. So
well, I'll tell you if ever misquote about a story, it's because the story's wrong.
Yeah.
I will. I'm correcting the story.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I did. And another thing, if you're a listener, by the way, we appreciate
They're
you listening.
listening.
Well, if they're listening, well, you never know. They might not normally
I'm
be a
not
listener. Yeah, they might just find our show
Yeah.
anyway. You can contact us 256-782
5600,
and you can be on the Hey Techie Show, and we would love for it to talk to you about tech, a tech question, or if you just or anything you got.
If you got a rant like our main man
Yeah.
Micah had a rant last week.
Yeah, he had a. And did you ever get a chance to edit what he said?
I haven't. I'm going to work on that.
You need to put that in a promo. That was good.
Yeah, you're right.
So normally every week, y'all ask me to have a hack of the week, and most weeks I remember.
But this isn't the time for that.
Well, I know, but
That's second hour.
I
Bruce.
understand that, but necessary to start the show off with this.
Okay.
Because this could be potentially larger than what happened with Snowden. Because, I mean, you got to say that was a hack. That was an insider threat.
Okay.
And earlier this week, whenever I saw the post about this, I thought, surely this is a hoax. Please, dear Lord, let this be a hoax. So there was a post from a group called the Shadow Brokers.
Okay.
Asking for a billion Bitcoins for what they claim they had was basically the NSA's toolbox.
Oh.
So
why don't they just steal Bitcoins? I mean, I hear it's a going thing now. They could just steal
that's true. But
anyway.
Then it devalues them. And
I guess, yeah.
So they wanted, which is it's over $500 million. So this is for up for bid for nation states to get. And they had put out some basically. And I thought, surely this is a hoax. Like, this has got to be a hoax. There's no way. At least there is a way, but I'm praying and hoping, because this has huge ramifications for my job. It makes my job, well, it makes it light, but it definitely makes, especially when you have vendors that knew about a lot of this crap and help cover it up and leave things vulnerable because the NSA uses these 0 days and these known vulnerabilities to their advantage.
Right.
So it was confirmed. What's today?
Today's 18th.
I would say yesterday for sure, when Cisco and a few other that were on this list started putting out their reports, and they classify them as far as critical and high, and a lot of the ones that they said this is what we have access to, those are the exact vulnerabilities that too. And I was reading through one article, and it kind of talks about how, and I won't get into the new details.
That's what we do here.
But there's a way for we'll just use the Cisco firewalls as an example, for them to get full access remotely
Firewall.
into a firewall. Yep. Hold on. Okay. There it is. That monster. It was wanting to talk. So there's definitely some things that you can do for some of these vulnerabilities if you have the correct security model framework for your organization. But as I imagine, there's a lot of small organizations that are target that that's it. That's the only firewall they have.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they really don't have a need to money and segment the network more and have more and other place that they're like, this generally takes care of everything we need. And even other organizations may have, they may stay just with one brand. So pretty in-depth model, and you can look that up, comes into play. But this is legit.
Yeah.
So all I can say is shame on these companies that knew about. And now Cisco has claimed that one of the things, because apparently there's only been like 3 or 4, but one of the things that they had no clue about until they saw this.
Really?
Which on can I say BS? I'm calling malarkey. Bull butter.
I think we do
on,
bull butter
on
here
that
on
one.
the Hey Techie show.
Well, I mean, this one's just, it really irks me. So as far as this is something,
so are you saying Cisco?
it's not just Cisco,
but
we'll say
you're saying you feel that Cisco really knew about this.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
claims they did.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they knew about most of them. If they say, well, we didn't know about this one, it's because we didn't need to know about this.
So let's go.
But the thing is, the NSA knew about this, and if security was their true motive, they would have alerted these vendors and said, here are some patches that need to be fixed. But it gave them entry into
well, now we know what NSA's reasoning is. I mean,
yeah.
that's
Well, I mean, it made their
look, if
job
you don't
easy.
know what NSA's reasoning is, you know
it made their job easy.
The question is, the question is, for the companies that knew about it, what is their reasoning?
We got
I mean,
they probably got the national security letters and couldn't.
The issue.
No. Couldn't even disclose that they knew about them because of the that they got. They said, we're putting we're putting.
Yeah, that I get. I'm just not sure I understand why you couldn't fix it. I mean, it's your product.
Well, one of the vulnerabilities Cisco currently does not have a workaround for, and it is now some of the other ones there's workarounds for. They currently do not have a workaround for, and I think it's because they deliberately. This is getting off. This is just my opinion, not factual
opinion.
Well, full disclaimer there. I don't want to say they engineered this to work this way.
All right.
But that's what I think. They worked in conjunction in there, and I'm not just saying it makes our country look bad, because it does. To me, it's like, well, the rest as much as they can. China or Russia or Iran. I mean, we're forcing, we're basically working in, companies to be able to have an all-seeing eye over the world. Same time, you're putting businesses and people's lives at risk because you want a backdoor.
So, to what level is this possibly not true? I know you saying it's true. People are saying it's true. That you got an article that says, but is there a possibility it's?
Well, I would say based on the been released,
yeah,
which the NSA's sites went down earlier this week. Don't know if there was a reason for that. I would say whenever it first came out, I was like 2% that this happened, 98% that it didn't. And Cisco and all these other vendors start vulnerabilities, acknowledging that from that 2% to 99.9 percent, because and I don't know if the NSA has came out and said if they've acknowledged it. All the other stuff I've read is now speculation on did it happen. I kind of agree with some of the speculation that it was another insider thing that there was, because some of these, yes, there's ways to get around air gaps, as far as, the systems that had these tools on them are completely disconnected. Any forward-facing network connections and any business connections there, they have their own ecosystem off. And there's definitely workarounds. There's methods, whether it be through social engineering or there's other attack vectors there that you can get past an air gap. But I think this was after the Snowden stuff. This had to have been planned very well, and we'll get more into that after the break.
Bruce will get more into that after the break, and Guru might pop up. Be right back.
Have a question? Try asking the Techies. You'll have to call, though. Bruce cut the cord to our ESP provider.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Struts of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Struts serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com.
Jacksonville Bookstore offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to Scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
Cindy's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Cindy is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Cindy's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Welcome back to the Hey Techie Show. First, I can't take you serious. It's tough. If you're not watching this online, you're missing quite the truth.
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, that was the
Yes.
the Marching Southerners.
They are back on
They
campus,
are back on
folks.
campus.
They are back on campus. I'm so excited for football season.
And as of what I read last, a whopping 533 members.
Yes. Outstanding. This is a new record.
Yeah. And my wife was really telling me, I think like 450 is going to actually be on the field
Yeah.
at any one time.
Show, that's how many spots they have, and I think the limiting factor is that's how many they can bus on 9 buses to all the football games, like away games, and then they do these exhibition performances at like high school marching contests.
Right.
So from what I read in the paper, but all the members will be able to do like parades and play in the stands at the home games and stuff like that. So But just bravo to everybody involved with Marching Southerners at this fine institution, from Dr. Bodiford all the way down. There's a lot of folks hard all year long
absolutely.
for this one time a year. I mean, it's just outstanding. I'm just so proud of our school and so proud of them.
You know, I've said this for years, and I feel like I'm the one that invented this. If anybody said it before me, that, but for a long time, and it's been kind of a joke. But I mean, there's a lot of truth to it. Is how do you get a few thousand high school teenagers to be dead silent?
That's right. Absolutely.
Because I mean, I grew up, you know, being a band nerd, and man, you could hear a pin drop whenever you go to competitions. And at the end of the competition, before, you know, while the judges are tallying up everything, you're waiting. They put the Southerners on the field, dead silence.
Yes.
So you want to know how to shut up a few thousand high school teenagers?
Yeah. If you go to our, I think Michael retweeted this on the main Hey Techies Twitter account, but if you follow Hey Techies Chris, I retweeted a video that Dr. Bodiford posted last night. They had their first to stadium this year on brand new turf, by the way, which looks awesome, by the way. But anyway, he had a few, 30 seconds or so of like the opening song of their show, and it's a theme from Independence Day. It just sent chills.
Wow.
But just watching it on the video, which, I mean, the audio is not going to be that great compared to in person. For them,
and as a quick reminder, the first home game is the first Thursday, which we will not have a Hey Techies show on that Thursday. So just FYI.
We just need to have a Hey Techies at the stadium. We'll just go up there and hang out with.
I mentioned this earlier. No, I don't think I did. You just stay tuned to the Hey Techies show. If you listen to our Rewind show, at some point coming up this fall, it will be changing, maybe even possibly to a different day. We're not real sure, but it'll be a weekend day, either Saturday or Sunday, and it's going to be changing time. So just keep posted for that. So. Well, Bruce and I were speaking just generally during the break, and Bruce is very concerned about this security breaches.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it before to see what Bruce Schneier had to say on it, but I just
Who is Bruce Schneier?
Oh man, you need to just.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
Google him.
So as we were talking about, now they're thinking that this has been another insider threat, and boys alongside this group are saying that's. I think it is, and you would think that after revelations that they would have put some stricter measures in place to allow access to things, because I know where I work, group I'm in, if we access more than do on a regular basis, it's flagged.
Right.
And
it's more than it's outside the normal kind of baseline.
And those are the things that Snowden said issues. Like, he shouldn't have been able to just say copy it all, because I mean he couldn't feasibly go through that in a day. Access to all that stuff. But yes, he had access to all of it. Access to all of it at the same time.
Right.
Now, which one are you talking about?
Kind of like a thing where you have to check out. I mean, digitally check it out.
You're talking about what he got from the NSA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All the revelations that we have, the thousands of
which he gave
documents.
to WikiLeaks.
Yes. So to me, this is I think as far as for educational purposes and just like I said, I mean, it's a revelation. Don't get me wrong, what Snowden did, I think was a huge deal and is a huge deal, and had a great impact, but I think this could potentially have, upon who gets it, much larger impact than anything thought about taking.
There you go.
So, if it is legit, and the way things are being put out there, the speculation, the experts, what they're saying, that it's legit, and they think that it been an inside person, and how they were able to Snowden stuff, go in there with a thumb drive, take all the keys to the kingdom, walk out with them. Well, not take them all, but copy all the keys to the kingdom and walk right out the front door, and then say, all right, well, this though, if it is an insider person, or even if it's an outsider person, definitely, like I said, if it gets in the wrong person's hands, a huge detrimental impact on so many things. But great.
Well, I know why you think it. Well, I think I know why you think
because
it's
it's going to force it. I don't want to say this, but I hope this is the thing. I hope it forces for these vulnerabilities and stuff like that to not be allowed.
Okay. I'm going to ask that. I was going to ask what level of certainty that you think maybe that these companies will patch this stuff now.
I mean, the stuff that's known, they'll patch. They'll go back to the drawing board. I think they will. They'll figure out a different way.
Or these companies are doing this on
together.
Together.
I think they will.
I didn't read the article.
The NSA may go to the drawing board and then come back and say, "All right, this is what we want you to do now." To me, it's, and I mean, this is getting into, I guess, better type thing. But what's crazy is all this stuff that has been years. Well, are those people so crazy?
Maybe.
But I mean, to me, it's just it's upsetting. It's more than upsetting. It's baffling that an organization or a government can have that much control over, these supposed to be, let them do, let the free market decide for them to be forced to comply. Yeah.
But government's too big. I've screamed that for decades.
Yeah, this is the Hey Techies show.
Yeah, I know, but it's still.
I know, but we always get on political stuff.
We do.
I know, but
it bleeds over into tech.
Michael, you're so right. There is just place for the government to interject itself.
So this is a good segue then.
But this
the segue to what?
This is a good segue. So Obama's downsizing the government.
Okay, yeah,
he is turning over the internet to.
I got that on here. Yeah, it's a real downside. That. I'm sorry. I know what they all say. I know the stories. I know they're saying, "Hey, you're not really going to notice it because we've been running this anyway for a long time." Saying that you're not going to notice a change. I'm not. I mean, I can't. And you certainly won't notice anything overnight. But this is a bad idea on so many levels.
But is that internet with a capital I or lowercase?
Yes, that's internet with either I.
I really want to know. He can send in an email. But stuff like this that's going on, I need to hear from our main man Micah about like, did you feel this same?
Posted that story. Micah. There's a BBC article about it too. What you're talking about?
Okay.
I
just I feel, and it's just, it's a scary place now.
So you think what?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I think it is time to shut this thing down. I agree.
Apparently so.
No, Captain Jeff made a cameo appearance on our show. I was wondering why Michael went in the chat room. It's because APG is recording right now. They're doing their show. Sorry. I thought I had my phone. I had it on mute, but it started playing, and I apologize.
Oh, sure. Right. Sure.
He's not even paying attention to our show. He's
Well,
watching another show while he's on the show.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
right.
Speaking
That's
of
right.
Micah, he called in and we talked about it was funny. It was a great.
Oh, it was.
There's
oh,
there's been an update.
Internet
Either
gold.
Micah or a bunch of other people together complained.
Yeah.
Well, Micah will report on his nationally syndicated tech show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't this past week; it was the weekend before. So, I mean, millions of people listen to that show. So, if people hadn't noticed, they probably started noticing, and there was probably some pressure on Apple to go and fix. What did I call it?
They turned it back on.
They fixed the bug. They
turned it back on.
That's what I said. They
they
relented.
fixed
They
the
turned it back
bug of
on.
the bug or whatever.
They returned the bug.
I'll say this.
ND, do not disturb.
Do not disturb.
Yeah, so that you could set it from your lock screen.
I will say this, that I guess I've used the OK Google. I knew it was going to do that.
Oh, Micah is here.
More frequently since we've had that on the show, just to see, exactly what mine can do. And a lot of times I use it in the car, and it's with was it Android Auto?
Yes.
And there's not a lot of things you can do on Android Auto. Like, not as much. You can't do as much through Android Auto as you can do just through your phone or your watch. And there was something, I can't remember why I was trying to figure that out, but it was to solve a math problem, and it just, and I don't know, it could have just been in the car or just Android Auto not participating at that time.
Right.
But I was like, really, you can't real quick and spit the answer back at me? So I had to turn to my watch and then ask it, and of course then it gave me
terrible.
the
I had to
answer.
turn to your watch
While I'm driving.
I know,
the
it's
whole
terrible.
point of Android Auto is, I think I was trying to figure out these. I lived for X amount of years.
Oh,
it's one of those just sees more of the day type things that I was talking about. So it was just
Our main man Micah has called in. He wants to
Oh.
share more about this whole series, Do Not Disturb. stuff.
okay.
let me-
So update.
So, hey, Micah, can you hear us?
Tuned in and heard that you were talking about it, so I figured I would call and let you know that Apple must listen to Hey Techies. And
All right.
Absolutely.
That's all I can figure.
or Leo Laporte, right?
No, Tim Cook is he's an Alabama native.
That's
so.
right.
Thing in,
That's right.
So yeah, yesterday I went to the Apple store because I was taking a class at Advanced iPhone and iPad Basics, and it turned out that class was okay.
Hey,
I listen to Hey Techies. I don't
Yeah,
everything
that's
I need
right.
to know from Guru. So
right.
we're all set. I had an Apple Genius appointment, which I set the last time I was there when I found that the explained last week
Right.
was in session. I just tuned in, so I don't know if you were able to explain.
no, carry on, man.
What it was is that when I got the iPhone, for those who hadn't been listening last week to my rant, and I'll try not to rant about it this week, but just explain. One of the things I loved about it was that I could turn on Do Not Disturb, and the screen was locked. So if I had the iPhone charging across the room from me and I got into bed and I forgot to turn on Do Not Disturb, I could say, hey, and I don't want to activate everybody's iPhone, and talk to Siri. He would say, how can I help you? And I would say, turn on Do Not Disturb. And she would say, Do Not Disturb is on. And that was from February up through August 1st. And then I did it the night of August 1st. And all of a sudden, Siri said, phone first to perform this function, or whatever she said, something to that effect. Because this lock screen was all set up. Couldn't figure it out. Anyway, I did everything that I had mentioned last week. Talked to Apple, talked to the Genius, called Apple, called you guys, tweeted all over about it, talked to Leo Laporte. Had set up another appointment, knowing that I was going to have this class at the Apple store on August 17th. Set up another appointment with the Genius to see if he would be able to find out anything more about it. I set up the appointment with the Genius. My class is over. I'm waiting for the Genius to approach me. And I say, well, let me just try this out. And I said, hey. And Siri said, made her dings. And I said, turn on Do Not Disturb. Okay, do not disturb is on.
Oh wow!
What?
Oh,
wow.
Micah is shaping Apple.
The genius finally came over, and I said, well, this is what I called about, but now it's working. And I showed him the email that I had gotten from Apple saying that it was a bug that they finally fixed, and in fixing the bug, that it wasn't a feature, it was a bug, but apparently they feature, and it was working again.
Wow.
And so I tweeted and thanked, on Twitter, and
Yeah.
I felt that, and I know you guys saw it, but I felt that it was important, and I'm going to try to call Leo too, that if I complained about it, also, compliment
Sure.
Apple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to do, and why I called in, to let you know that it's working again, at least everybody else, and thank Apple for they had made a mistake or determining that it wasn't really a bug, whatever had happened. But I'm glad it's back.
On the way home from the call last week, I decided, because I don't remember, we had too much ambient noise or something. I never could get my in here. Well, anyway, long story short, on the way home, I told it, what I wanted to do, and I said good night, and it said, "Oh, okay, good night." And you can do it from the lock screen on an Android phone by saying good night.
At least you could last week.
So
yeah, I'll have to try it during the break again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the odds are to change that because the Android is much looser than Apple.
I would never assume that, because see, Google is dropping Hangouts as far as streaming, the live streaming on Hangouts. We use it.
Well,
people who use it, I know. Hold on, I'm not finished. Dropping that portion of it, they're changing over to two other apps: Allo, Duo. One's a like a messaging, like Facebook Messenger. The other one is a video.
Wait. Are they getting rid of Hangouts completely?
No, they're going to try to market it towards industry, like enterprise. That's the way I read. I got a story on it. It's the way I understood
Skype for
it.
Business and
yes.
Citrix.
Hey, Micah, I wanted to ask you a question. How did your class go? Just give us a little short, brief update of what happened.
iPhone.
Class.
Yeah.
When I first got the iPhone, I just didn't understand it because, again, it's not designed to be a computer. It's designed to be an appliance.
Sure.
And people like us, we can't kind of change over to that and think of it as it's a microwave oven more or less, and so I took the basic class, and I went in with questions I wanted to know a little bit more about. And I had a whole list of them: how notifications work, how reminders work, some real specific questions that were a bit more advanced than what they had in the basics class. And I had the list. The people in the class, the presenter was great, and I had actually worked with him before, and he was very, very good, but the people in the class were so low level in terms of not understanding it that he was doing just basically basics class, and it was stuff that I didn't need. It was a little more advanced for your phone, as opposed to I wanted to know more about voice memos and how to record them and how to offload that file to my PC. Things like that. But these people that were in the class, there, but it was more of a basics class, so it didn't really help me very much. And I found that I was sitting next to on either side of me as tutoring them more than I was getting anything from it. It would have been more helpful if I would have taken it maybe the second week I had.
Oh, okay.
I had another question for you.
Absolutely, sure.
It may be a rant. Who knows? Big news from AT&T today yet to talk about?
It's on the agenda. We have not discussed it yet. But go ahead.
The company that I use, and I don't know if it's going to affect me or not, changed their data plans. Basically doubled the price, and not doubling the price so much as cutting the data in half. Currently, my data plan, I'm paying about $50 a month, $55 a month with taxes and tips.
Taxes and tips.
And that the $30 of that is for my 2 gigabytes of data. The other $20 is for whatever they're charging me for. Who the heck knows? I don't know what they call it, but no. AT&T is going to give me, or I don't know if it's going to affect me because I'm already in this plan, but any new subscriber, that $30 a month is going to be for 1 gigabyte of data. Saying they're doing is they're not going to have an overage fee, and it's unlimited data, the 2G data after you go over your 1 gigabyte, but there's no longer an overage charge, and that's the big savings. Well, you know, I've never gone over. In fact, I probably don't even use 1 gigabyte of data. I just don't use a lot. I'm on Wi-Fi most of the time. What you're doing is doubling, decreasing the data that you're getting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
It's
see it
awful.
right here. T-Mobile's doing something very similar.
So what?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, T-Mobile has also cut back on data as well. I just can't figure it out.
Learned something today, Micah, that I didn't know that you might find interesting too. That goes along with this. I was talking to some television guys over here at this TV studio, and we were discussing live events. And did uplink sat trucks are on the way of the dodo bird?
Oh.
And I did not really know that, but what they're changing to is bonded LTE.
What did I tell you?
Did you know about that, Bruce?
What did I tell you?
Yeah. They're changing to bonded LTE, and they bond together 5 or 6 different carriers or whatever they get, usually about 5, if whatever carrier they can find, lines, bond that together, and it's mobile. Like, for instance, he was telling me, do you remember several weeks ago when the events happened in Dallas where the shooting was and Fox News was there and they covered some live of the policeman? That woman was running. She had a camera. She had one of those. That's how she was able to do that and run that far. And they say it's latency, but it's nowhere what a sat link would be.
And it's nowhere near as expensive.
And nowhere near as expensive. That's
yeah,
right.
because these
sat time's expensive.
Yeah, they have. I mean, these TV stations and that they have to lease time on these satellites, and they have a window, and they have to, in that whatever time they've bought.
Have you heard anything about that, Micah?
No, it's not something I'm familiar with, but it would make sense that if you could bond those things together, it's basically, it sounds like what happens with a DOCSIS 3 modem, that you're bonding together several lines,
right?
And you're just doing that with LTE, so it would make sense that it would
or 3G. I looked up a few packs that you could buy. Many companies are making them now for broadcasting.
We need to get one of those when we do the robotic stuff.
Actually, one company is making one, or at least one that I saw, for police. It's a militarized looking backpack. It has hard shell, and they can use it for communication, you know, in mobile areas where they don't get coverage or what have you.
Kind of things make me nervous, frankly, when we start relying on the telephone companies and the wireless systems of telephone companies and wireless data for communication systems for police or military or whomever, because these are privatized companies that can do with as they want, and in the event of a disaster, there's no more radio communication. It's all the telephone thing, the lines are all mixed up, and not only that, but they're going to be crowded, because if there's a disaster, we're all going to be on them, and they're not going to be able to get the line or the data or whatever.
Right.
And so the military and police, I really believe, should have their own networks, however they want to do it, but not be relying on towers, but it should be old-fashioned radio.
Right.
If you think about it, that's what the shortwave community does. In the event of an emergency, it's still the shortwave hams going back and forth among themselves to communicate, and that's really what we need for emergency situations.
Well, apparently Delta can still use pen and paper, so I mean.
But look, but here's the thing: like, they canceled thousands of flights all because they're switch over.
Yeah, I know.
So you have that, and I mean that could be a security thing with transportation. They're key.
These are all parts of critical.
But like also a couple of years ago here in Alabama, we're not used to snow, and all that snow fell very quickly, and it was not forecast, and everybody tried to go. They sent the kids home and tried to get the buses out, and then like they sent us home, and like the cell infrastructure was overloaded. You could barely get a text message out.
Anything about snow?
But
I mean, we
the
have
same thing.
At least
I mean,
not people acting like
No,
nuts.
I do understand what you're saying because, as I think I mentioned, I have family in Richmond, Virginia. Very much no, but when they do, and if it happens very quickly, it's very similar to what happens by you. It's all there's a panic. Nobody knows how to handle it, and it's a crisis. And all of a sudden, there's no communication because everybody's calling and all the lines are frozen because you rely on that landline. Very, very important. And in some area here in Maine, there was I can't remember what it's called, but there's the critical infrastructure of the landline phone company has just there was a law passed that they no longer have to provide service to the rural areas where they did before, and they can pull out of it. And so there are some places in Maine where you won't be able to get landline, and because it's so rural, you certainly cannot get wireless. In Maine, where there will no longer be communication.
that's not a good direction to go.
Part of that is possibly changing though because of this big FCC. A lot of these stations are considered selling their UHF. Now that's been put on hold some, I understood from today. I found out, but
that varies too because there are places. For example, I'm the city of Portland, where I cannot get an over-the-air TV signal.
Right. Most of them are not going to be broadcasting that. It's only on the digital HD signals. You're not going to get an analog anymore. That's nothing new. That's been going on for several years.
Well, we're in the same boat here. We're between two large markets and equipment to be able to pick up an over-the-air television signal.
Right, but I couldn't get the old VHF, analog signal where I live, and I certainly cannot get the new digital signal.
With the digital, either it works great or it doesn't work at all.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So, between a little snow and you make it hold the antenna and you can see it a little, that's gone.
Earlier, you probably missed this, Micah, but we were talking about a local place here around us where the local little town's cable company is in discussion with the power company. They must have not paid the bill and they shut the power down to the cable company. And so nobody in that little town has cable service right now. It was not told about it. So anyway, and
I can't believe the cable company did not have their own backup generator.
Well, but I mean, it's just permanent power. They don't have power. Well, we're talking about little places. But it's a little place.
That redundancy, obviously, they ran out of diesel fuel or something for their generator.
So,
well, we're 1,800 miles away from one another, but we're both in very, very rural states when it comes
right.
Now.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
Which actually reminds me, we were talking about phones before, on how your service has been going in terms of switching over between Wi-Fi and Sprint and T-Mobile with your new Android.
Well, I was gonna say they've added U.S. Cellular to the mix, and the handoffs have gotten worse. They're as seamless as they used to be.
Oh, okay.
But it could just be that I'm in areas that I just never noticed before. I don't like talking on the phone anyway. But I mean, it's okay for what I pay for. Just the phone service itself is $20 a month. It's totally worth it.
Well, if U.S. Cellular is always rated #1 by Consumer Reports nationwide, wherever it's available, they recommend that people get U.S. Cellular. Unfortunately, it's a CDMA network, and I stick with GSM so that I can choose phones a little more easily. But up here, the U.S. Cellular is well known. And in fact, a lot of the state offices use them because their service is better within the state than most others. If AT&T changes my plan to 1 gigabyte per month for $30, basically I'm paying now, at that point I am going to switch over to Cricket, and I'll report to you on that. There are some big holes for Cricket in the northern parts of Maine, parts that I don't go to that often, but that's what I'm going to do, because with Cricket, again, for I believe it's $45 a month flat, it's unlimited text, talk, and 2 gigabytes of data. And if I think I want to go to $50 a month, it's 5 gigabytes of high speed LTE or 4G data.
That's comparable to what Project Fi is. So, I think Google's got big plans for it. So I'm going to stick with it, seeing where they take it. But I mean, I've not been dissatisfied with the service. I mean, there's times that it drops, but it's usually in places that I kind of expect for it to drop, or but at probably in the same time, it would probably have not dropped.
Now, with that Project Fi phone, is it an unlocked phone that you could switch over to another carrier if you
Hey,
wish?
Micah.
Absolutely.
Micah, hold on just a second, okay? We got
Okay.
We got to go to break. We'll be right back.
Red Threads Apparel carries a wide selection of t-shirt designs for every school function, work party, and much more. They also offer custom layouts for monogrammed attire. Red Threads Apparel is located at 16 Square Unit 8 in downtown Jacksonville on the square. Their business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information on Red Threads powered by O Brand, visit their Facebook page at O Brand Marketing or call 256-770-9880.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Looking to secure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they are closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show. So glad to have you in with us. Mike, are you still there, buddy? Yeah, I appreciate you hanging on through that break. I apologize. We just had to get it in, and we had gone long in that segment, so this is going to be like a short segment. But what were you asking us before we?
I was asking if Bruce's phone, because he's on the that Google phone plan. I just lost the name of it.
Project Fi.
Can you, if you choose to go to a different carrier, can you do that with that phone? Can you plug in a GSM SIM card and swap over to another carrier?
Absolutely. It's completely unlocked. So if I wanted to take the phone with me, I can take it with me.
Basically, you get a Project Fi SIM card when you get the phone and go with Project Fi. Is that what happens?
That's what happens. They send you a SIM card and either buy the phone outright or you just pay for it month to month until it's paid off. So it's like, 20, depending upon what phone you get, it ranges between $20 to $100 a month.
So about the average price for like your smartphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you got an iPhone, you're gonna pay $20 to $30 a month for it.
Exactly.
Or pay for the full retail.
Yep, or go ahead and pay full retail. But actually, I want to say whenever my wife's I went ahead and paid full for, but this one calculated because they're like it's going to be $23.37 a month.
Yeah,
it actually came out 1 penny cheaper to pay for it month to month than it did to
save that penny. Penny saved, the penny earned.
That's right. The money today.
There you go.
That's true.
So,
well, that's great.
Yeah,
the phone itself is a very, very well respected phone.
Yeah, I will say, and let's go ahead and bring it up now. So HTC is supposed to be doing the next Nexus phone that will be just Google putting out and for Project Fi. And if you've listened to this show, I'm a huge HTC fan. But the leaks I've seen, I don't know if I'll get it. I think I'll skip if the leaks are true. Because it does not show that it has dual front facing speakers, which they have had on their
I
phones
know that doesn't make sense.
for I don't know how long. And the specs just aren't than this. I just don't see a reason yet to upgrade.
Well, dual facing speakers are a big issue for Luddites. So I knew I'd get a laugh out of it.
But yeah, if because currently in the leaks it just shows a bottom, and I forget what the other specs were. I actually just found it the other day. I had no clue that HTC was doing it, and I was just like, this phone's coming out, and I was like, what? HTC, yay. And then I was like, maybe not such a big deal. So I think we'll find out in probably November.
Well, this week, Leo Laporte was talking about a new company in the U.S., Chinese company, and I wish I could remember the name of it, that is making a very, very high-end Android phone that he is using. He says it competes with all the Samsungs and the whatevers, and it's selling for about $400.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
$700.
Did we cover them?
We did. I mentioned them one day, and I forgot too.
I know
and
who you're
he's
talking about.
comparing it with the OnePlus 3, which he also is now recommending, and saying that is also within the same price range, and is again as good a quality as, well, the iPhone is the iPhone, but as good a quality as the Galaxy 7s, etc., and so on, for half the price. And
now you're not talking about the Xiaomi, are you? You're not talking about that one.
I can't remember, and
It starts
I'm trying
with
to
an
look it up.
X.
Yes, it could be. It could be.
That might be the MI5. I don't know. It's pronounced Xiaomi, but I think that's right. But it starts with an X.
I believe that's it. And he's been using it and has been saying very great things about it. He's been very happy with it.
There was some questions of whether or not it was going to be sold in the U.S.
That it could be another one. There are so many different ones. But
$400, yeah.
Yeah, he said it's a very, very high-end Android phone on a par with all the $700 and $800 ones that are being sold by HTC and Samsung, et cetera, and so on. But half the price and doing very, very well. So when the time comes, and it's hopefully not going to come for me for a long time. You know how long I held on to my
Me too.
my flip phone. But if the time comes, I think I will probably switch over to a cheap Android like that and go from there, unless I can have a free iPhone. But best price on those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate your call.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Micah.
you so
Great
much.
speaking with you.
Yes,
and
sir.
thank you for naming last week's episode after me.
Hey, we had to.
That was an honor.
Well, it's an honor for you to call this show.
Yes.
It's our honor.
And you got to go back and listen to the first part.
To do that.
Oh, yeah, because we talk about some security stuff. Something you would be very interested in, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah.
That's great. You guys have a good night. I probably won't listen to the rest of the show because I got things to do.
Understand.
But, I wanted to call in. So
thank you so
guys
much.
take care.
You
Have a good
too.
week.
Bye, Micah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's funny that he was listening to something else, started talking about him. His ears must have been burning.
His
It's like,
was
I need
burning.
to swap over.
That's what happens at the Hey Techie Show. Your ears start burning.
That's the best part about this show is our. Let me say, not the ears burning, but the best part is our listeners.
Absolutely.
We have some
Great
awesome listeners.
Yeah.
We have the best listeners
do.
on the planet.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so grateful for them. What are you still laughing about?
Yeah, they're great. Awesome.
He's trying to stretch it out.
No, they are. That was not
Sounds so sincere.
I am sincere.
Y'all are the greatest.
He's talking about himself.
Thanks.
You've listened this long, so stick around for our dose.
fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, get it.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. And we had a great call.
NPR news break.
Yeah, didn't you enjoy that NPR news break? Man, it just seems like every week there's some issue now. Last week was fine. Weird. That was really weird. So I don't know.
Yeah, I apologize if someone is like, what? They got like startled by the static. So, and we're sitting there, and there was like, the worst thing on the radio is dead air, like nothing. So I was like, gotta find something quick to play.
Hey, just because I'm gonna have to do this over
good lord,
over the air. That phone never hung up. Get too early.
Yeah, he was like, hey.
Yeah, I was
bigger problems.
I was going to talk about that, and then NPR's not working.
Yeah. So just real quick to bring in something from the first hour into the second hour. I'm very excited about HTC. It depends on when they release the actual specs, but
so I did not realize that the HTC phone was going to be the new Google.
They chose them to do, and which is really
Nexus.
which is really surprising considering what they've done in the past. Usually they let a vendor go a couple, and the Huawei version has been great. It's like Mike said, it's a respected phone, and
sure.
I think it's a great phone, actually. I've been very pleased with
4
this
days
phone.
ago, rumored specs.
Looking at it. So maybe I just happened to catch it. It was just, I thought about it, and somebody put out an article same time I was thinking about it. But yeah, I was really surprised that they weren't going to let they have another swing at it and see what they could. The only other thing I could think is they've let the other ones do it in the past because then nothing was really established. Samsung's a big player, LG's a big player, but I think that helped establish themselves in the Android market, and I think Huawei has done such a great job. They're trying to be competitive in the market because they've come out with a lot of stuff, and they've come out with Android Wear stuff that they're like, all right, you're well established now. And I know HTC has kind of hurt. So that's the only thing I can think is Google's like, all right, well, we're going to give you, this is your shot, and this will help prop you up a little bit. Because they do. They want to prop up competition is basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
I felt like they did that with Huawei, and Huawei came out swinging, and I think they're doing a really good job. And they're just like, all right, well, we've accomplished what we Google's accomplished what they wanted.
Now you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Do you remember? I don't remember. Was Huawei selling a phone in the U.S. on their own?
I don't think they were. HTC is.
See, I know what you're saying, and I'm not saying it won't help them. No, it could be though. If you're HTC, why would you put two front-facing speakers on a competitor's phone, even though you're going to get? Yeah.
No. It'll still be like this. It's a Google phone.
I know what it is.
It says Huawei on the back.
I know, but we're talking about the next Nexus phone should be built by HTC.
Yeah.
And you were saying, I apologize. You were saying that you don't think it's going to have dual-facing cameras, front-facing
front-facing speakers.
I'm saying, I didn't mean to say cameras.
I can think of every HTC phone.
That's what I'm getting at.
All the way back to the Incredible had dual front-facing speakers.
Right.
I could be wrong on that. I thought about that the other day. I was like, I'm pretty sure my Incredible had front-facing.
It was incredible.
I wonder if my Resound
very
did.
incredible.
I can't remember. It seems like it did.
I've got something not so incredible. We talk about all these Android phones and stuff, and propping up and competition and all that. Well, how about this? Target made mention in an earnings call this week are blaming part of their lackluster sales on Apple. During the second quarter of 2016, the sales of Apple iPads, iPhones, and other devices fell 20% at popular retailer Target. Target CEO Brian Cornell highlighted the sales drop during an earnings call where he suggested the decline was due to a lack of newness and innovation, my air quotes are there, and blamed poor Apple sales for Target's disappointing Q2 earnings results.
So it wouldn't have had anything to do with people getting aggravated at them and not shopping at their store. That wouldn't have had anything to do with it.
He's blaming Apple for the disappointing second quarter results.
I'll say this
company.
about Target. Just Kmart with a different name.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but
and
anyway.
I mean, there's people that swear by Target.
I know.
I used to shop there all the time.
But lately, I mean, everyone that I've been in, I'm just kind of like, this kind of feels like Kmart.
But you know,
and where's Kmart now?
Well, I don't know.
But you know,
I just don't think
there
it's
are
Apple's.
I mean, you may be able to substantiate some of that. Now, whether that's all Apple's fault, I don't think so. There's other factors.
Now, are they talking about their overall sales or just Apple sales within Target?
They're okay. Said the sales of Apple iPads, iPhones, and other Apple devices fell 20% at their company based on the same quarter prior year. And you know, Apple during the first quarter of this year, they had their first revenue decline since 2003.
Yeah.
Now, reported this already that they're experiencing decline in revenue based on what they've done in the past, and you know they had a long streak of increasing revenues, you know, quarter to quarter, year to year, and so now you know Target is saying, "Well, y'all screwed up, Apple, and we're blaming you." Well, I mean, you know, there's a whole discussion here about, you know, is Apple not innovating like they used to? It's not the Steve Jobs Apple, or you know, you can throw.
Let's be honest, Steve Jobs didn't innovate crap.
Just
marketing.
I mean, you can debate that all year, but
well, he did. He did promote.
Waz is getting more vocal about it.
He did promote more people. He did promote individuals that had developed products that he liked and thought were cool. Yeah. And you cannot argue the success of Apple with Steve Jobs. I mean, I agree with you. He marketed well. There's no question about that. But he left. He was company.
Yeah.
He went and started his own products really well, and then sold them, and then bought his way back into the company down at their lowest point.
Yeah, he turned not saying he single-handedly turned the company around, but he came in at a time, and then the company turned around under his leadership.
His spirit,
okay,
in the fact that he started it. It was the beginning of something that was totally different. It was turned on. The technology was turned on its head.
It changed the culture.
Yeah. Look, you might not like him. You may disagree. You know, I didn't read his book. There was a well-known book done in a movie, and I still actually would like to see that movie. I haven't seen the movie. I do think that there's no question that he was an innovator. You may be that you base it that he was an innovator of selling things, marketing them really well. Innovated and what's his name? Ives, Johnny Ives.
Yeah, Johnny Ives.
Yeah. He was definitely part of that innovation.
Well,
he still is,
but
was
the competition is just getting very difficult and more. I mean, Android has obviously got more market share as a whole. I mean, that's a fact of life. I mean, when you license that technology out, that the Android technology stack, you got companies competing for the business on that
and
platform.
The Windows Phone. I mean, they're getting a lot of competition.
Oh, absolutely. Those 20 people. I think we're up to 20 maybe. For Windows
over
Phone.
$1 million.
I'm still willing to test a Windows Phone for 2 weeks. So any takers want to provide me a phone for 2 weeks to test?
Sure.
HeyTechieShow.com.
That would be interesting.
But
yes, it would be.
It's going to be interesting to see what.
Do you think he would make a mistake and say "Hey Siri" to his phone for a while?
I don't use Hey Siri, so.
Well, that's true. We did learn that last.
I forgot to use Hey Siri.
the 2017
You're really
iPhone will be the 10th anniversary device. Not
That's
the one,
right.
not the one coming out next month, but the one for next year.
Hey,
And there's, we've talked about rumors already on that one.
Yeah. Here that I just had. Do you think people that enjoy these devices, and a lot of people do, obviously, that like iPhone, is then they're very loyal customers.
Absolutely.
Many of them are.
Yeah, like me.
My point is this: do you think they're going longer than new one because they're getting good, they're lasting longer, battery life's better. A lot of technologies are actually improving. Things like batteries.
Plus the way the phone companies have it set up to where they used to. It's not
Yes,
as easy.
that's what I was about to say.
And that's another thing.
And I have some personal experience here. My mother is on my family plan with me, and she has an iPhone 5S. When we purchased it, it was back when you could still do the subsidized and the contract and all that. But she's probably had this phone 3 years. You're well overdue for that normal 2-year cycle that used to be. Now we're looking at trying to replace that phone, and I've got an iPhone 6, and I've had years.
Yeah.
So I've had it a year and a half ish right now. So, and I will say my personal experience with my iPhone 6, like it still works well. I can start to tell it is not as crisp, I guess you could say, than it was, but I'm usually near a power source where I can, in my car, I can plug it up and keep it charged. If it gets low at work, I can plug it in and charge it. And, you have the little external batteries that are very popular now. And they're very affordable. I've got one I pay like $20 on Amazon that charges the phone from dead to full, like a time and a half.
Right.
So that's not bothering me as bad because I can get it powered and keep it powered all day, even if it means external means.
Gotcha.
So, and the fact that I have to either pay the $30 or whatever a month installment payments, or I have to pay full freight up front is making me see how long I can go before I replace it. Like, I'm not looking at iPhones. It would be like, iPhone 7's coming out. Like, oh, I used to do every other iPhone. I'd skip one and do the next one. It's like iPhone 7's coming out, or the iPhone 7's like, oh, I'm not looking at it. I'm like, this one's serving my needs. It's a tool to do, a job or to, communication or whatever you want to call it, but it's serving my needs. That's when I'll start figuring out we got to do something about that.
Well, when we come back from break, we'll move along to something else.
And I thought way too much during that segment.
No. You did. Come on.
I did. Sorry.
The Hey Techie Show will return momentarily.
You can call, chat, tweet, email, or use that book face thingy. We're watching it all, even that book face thingy.
Looking to cure that sweet tooth of yours? Mad Hatter Cupcake Shop is now proudly serving the Jacksonville area at their new location at 16 Public Square on the Square. Mad Hatter is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and they're closed on Sunday and Monday. For additional information, be sure to check out their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Mad Hat Cupcakes, and their website, www.madhatcakes.com.
Stress of Jacksonville has been serving the Jacksonville community for over a decade. They are located at 500 Forney Avenue, right next to the cockpit. Strut serves wings, beer, and more. Their business hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. To place a to-go order, please call 256-782-0106. For more information, go to strutswings.com.
Jacksonville Tan is a proud patron of WLJS, serving Jacksonville and surrounding areas since 1987. At their location at 115 Francis Street East, next to Walgreens. Jacksonville Tan knows a thing or two about healthy glow, offering 16 tanning beds and virtually no wait times. A great tan is never out of the question. For more info, call them at 256-435-1770.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show, where we're talking phones tonight, apparently.
Well, we talked about a lot.
We have. And a lot of things like that. So nothing wrong with that.
All that tech thingy stuff.
What now?
All that tech thingy stuff. Is what I said.
I know we said we wouldn't cover it, but we'll cover it real quick.
I knew he wasn't going to be able to not. Go ahead, real quick.
So, I mean, it was just, they're saying that companies can't void your warranty, legally void your warranty for jailbreaking or rooting your phone.
Now, was this a ruling recently? Because I guess I missed it.
Well, I think it comes from Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act of 1975.
Yeah.
So, there's been a lot of back and forth on this, and I understand both sides of the story. It's one saying, well, one, they want to control the environment that the phone's in. That way, they have what's going on, and you could put some on there that could mess up the hardware. Well, now they're putting it back on the manufacturer's responsibility to prove that what you put on there caused. But at the same, in the same time, allowing trust. You're not allowing heat on this platform by locking them out. So I think LG and HTC have done a good job. They did something smart.
Yeah.
In order to unlock your phone version, but to put the bootloader and all that, you have to get a code from them and register on their site. And with that, you're signing a new terms and conditions.
Yes.
Which I'm sure in that states that, by doing so, you waive warranty rights. But I had to do that whenever. I can't remember why I needed to do that on my HTC stuff. But yeah, HTC's been doing it for years, but I think LG has too. So, some food for thought. I see both sides to the story. So I say yes. I agree that if some hardware fails within a year or whatever the warranty is, then no matter what I had on it, you should replace it. What I did. So
what happens if you, let's say,
but this is where the consumer just needs to be honest.
Yeah, but let's say you put some sort of a bootloader or try to jailbreak it or whatever you want to call it, and in the process of doing that, because maybe you didn't follow the steps correctly. Let's just assume for this.
Well, that's
discussion.
on you.
Well, I mean,
but how does that?
I wouldn't say. I don't know. I guess I've never screwed it up so bad that I completely bricked a phone. There's always a way back.
Well, now you may have said this a while ago.
That's right.
But there can be a boot locker, the phone totally, that you can't put a ROM on there.
Oh yeah.
Locker or
sure.
That sounds good to me. Door though.
Yeah.
The NSA probably has one.
Absolutely.
Well, Apple tries as much as they can to keep people from jailbreaking phones. And it's all been Android. There's other embrace it and give away to.
But even some Android manufacturers try to
lock the bootloader. They don't like it.
Bootloader.
Yeah, they don't like it. But there's definitely ways to do it. So moving on. That was just since we were on phones, I thought that was good.
Well, I got one more thing. This is kind of a rant. Okay. So Apple, when they get to certain. It used to be to get the beta software for like iOS devices, you had to be a developer, which makes sense. If you're developing software, have access to that new OS to make sure your apps aren't broken when the new release comes out, so you have time to fix it. But anyway, last couple of years, Apple, probably last 2 at least, they get to a certain point in their development process, they do a public beta, and anybody can public beta and put the the OS on their phone. And I've seen several iPhones that they've already got the they got it's obviously iOS 10 because I was using one the other day and I tried to swipe, the home screen to unlock it. And of course it didn't unlock. You have to touch the home button and then passcode or whatever. And I mean, I'm sorry, this bothers me I understand public betas, but it's like, I don't even have it on my phone. I'm not going to put no beta software on something that's critical to my doesn't work. I can't make calls or people can't get a hold of me. I don't know. What's your take on it, Michael?
Some people have several phones and they do that. Who can afford that kind of lifestyle? They have several.
Can't.
I know, but
I'm
they
on a
have
fixed
several
income.
phones and they enjoy that kind of thing. That's what they like. That's sort of their hobby. They like.
Well, hopefully that was the case with these people.
Version.
I hope it was, because if I had like money just everywhere and didn't know what to do with it, I'd have me like a test device.
They're saying the Gold Master is the latest iOS.
Yeah, well, we got a rumor that kind of points to that.
I think it's version 6. I think that is
beta 6.
Beta 6 is what came out last week. I think it was, or early this week.
I've lost count.
I think it was early this week or last week.
Because thankfully I don't have to make sure software
Did you guys
works.
know that Tesla over in China, there had been some accidents, and I don't want to go into the whole thing, but there was a whole deal back and forth for about 24 hours where claimed autopilot was removed from the website. Yeah, in some documentation. They claimed that this is by Reuters. They claimed that the word autopilot, term for self-driving, had been removed on a website after a driver had a crash on autopilot mode. I didn't get to talk about that last week, I don't think. But the thing about that is Tesla came back and said, no, that was just a mistake.
We accidentally deleted that file. We're sorry.
Yeah,
we put it back.
Yeah, well, it was just
we had to go get it from our backups.
There was they revised some language, and they claim
I could see how some things probably got lost in translation.
Yeah, I could too.
But that's not.
There's some things getting lost in translation. That's true.
Sometimes.
Of course, this week, I'm not telling, most people are paying attention. There was a Tesla Model S that caught fire during a test drive in France.
So hot, it's on fire.
Over in France. And basically, it told them, hey, there's a problem with charging.
I'm on fire.
And then once they got out, noise, and it caught fire, and now it's being investigated.
So it wasn't on fire until after they got out of it. I was laughing earlier.
They were out of it before it was on fire.
I was trying to be funny with that, because that's serious if you're in a vehicle and it catches fire.
No one was injured.
Thankfully, no one was
other
hurt.
than the Tesla.
Well, Tesla can be replaced. People can't.
Car was basically.
But it was so hot, it was on fire.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, so want to cover this real quickly. We got time before we go to rumors here. Guru can do it once every now and then. Guru
every
can
week.
Yeah, it hasn't been lately, has it? Woo! I was on a roll too. Guru can up and go, and I think get ready for that segment. But anyway, I talked real quickly about Assange when we first came on, and I wanted to bring something up. He is continually now being a target. I mean, he's really there. There's been several articles written about whether or not he's going to get keep his asylum if something's going to happen, and he's mysteriously going to be extradited. Excuse me, easy for me to say, and those kind of things. But what's funny about it to me, I didn't know if you saw this, Bruce. Two different instances. Did you know that Assange was interviewed by our old buddy Jake Tapper on CNN?
Not Jake Tapper,
not
but
kidding.
CNN.
Not kidding.
Really?
Listen to this question. They went back and forth, but here's what he says. Here's what Jake Tapper asked. This is perfect. Tapper asked, Why are you so seemingly determined to affect the election here in the United States? Question. from Jake Tapper. I mean, in the tank.
Didn't we talk about this?
No, that was a different one. That was the other guy. That was the one. That was the previous week's interview with.
Because that was like the exact same question.
It was just about most of they talk. On top of that, our good buddies over at NPR. Similar incidents happen in a Skype interview. Interviewer for NPR. Let's see. I got his name right here. David Green, WikiLeaks founder. And here's was one of his questions. They went back and forth for a while. And David asked this. David asked this. No, David asked what he was doing. David was pressing the matter. He wanted to have Assange tell him his sources, the emails. There's been a lot of rumors back and forth. Was it Russian? Was it this?
Yeah.
You know, Assange said no. Has been saying no, it wasn't. But the reporter is wanting him to give up. I mean, can you be serious? I mean, seriously,
you can tell.
Isn't that the first thing
it's all right,
of journalism? That
I need your source.
Right, that you don't give up your.
I'm protecting my source, but I want your source.
But he needs to give his sources up. They need to find out who in the world is spreading these.
That is hilarious.
I mean, I'm serious now. I'm connecting these two because last week was Bill Maher. The last week was Bill Maher.
Yes, Bill
He's
Maher.
the one. He asked the one that was just absolutely hysterically funny about. My goodness, Bill. In the tank much, Bill? Seriously, though, this is going on.
I'll tell you what I think during the break.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's bull butter. It cracks me up. I mean, I know it, but you just read some of this stuff. You just get out from the TV and just go read some of the headline, read the news, dig into it. You'll find some interesting things. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I dug, and I cannot find that CNN interview.
They probably pulled
1
minute clips,
probably,
but I cannot find Jake Tapper's voice asking that question.
Well,
anyway, it's interesting. Well, we need to
they have
go
some
to
computers.
this wonderful thing we call
That was a perfect little intro, Michael. That you did you just spot on tonight.
Perfect, spot on. Sure, I can't keep people's names right, but I'm spot on intros.
You are absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess I can start this off. Did you know? I think I don't know. I put one on here. I think I put the Tesla stuff on here.
2 of them.
I might have put another one on here.
Grimmers.com.
Yeah, they're saying that the Dutch approved Tesla Model S will have they'll go further on a single charge. They apparently have proved a bigger battery or a bigger battery storage. That's from what I understand.
It's only 10% increase, so isn't it?
That's 10%, baby. 10% longer.
10% longer. That's right. Yeah.
So I wonder if you can go buy a Dutch Tesla and bring it to the States. The road they drive on.
It says it's going to. Yeah.
I mean, what size is the steering wheel on?
Yeah, right. It says it's going to allow it to travel 380 miles on a single charge.
That's pretty good. My vehicle gets about
but that
450 miles to a tank.
But isn't that going to be based on how fast you travel?
Oh,
Whether you
how
got hills,
how high you got the air conditioner.
how high you got the air conditioner.
Well,
Do you have the lights on?
It's just like
the radio.
it's just like miles per gallon. That they have to put on cars. It's your mileage may vary.
I know.
So
you're right. I know.
at 300 miles or 280 miles. That's a good bit for
Except
all
if you
electric.
get wherever you're going and there's nowhere to charge it, then it's going to
Well,
be a problem.
that's a whole nother discussion there about the infrastructure to charge it. You know, these power companies are loving that.
You got
we now have a date on the iPhone 7.
Really?
The rumors now pointing to a
September 9th.
September
Shocking.
9th pre-order with a September 23rd launch day. This is some, of course, Mac rumors, and this is coming from 9 to 5 Mac. They got some here from a leaked AT&T retail schedule featuring merchandising reset hours for September 9th, September 23rd. So, you know, it tells them what they, you know, a lot to this is like internal, you know, store communication that press got a hold of. So, yeah, we'll see. So coming up here in a few weeks, we'll know for certain when Apple sends out the invites and all that.
Okay, I only put this on here because of the absolute stupidity of this. I mean, it's a rumor, but the claim is that Google's Glass, the next version of Google Glass, could be powered by AA batteries. A pack. It looks like a pack that hangs off the back of one of the earpieces. Some people were saying that. I mean, you could see the picture. It looks silly. Or even it could run off of AAA or even 9-volt batteries. Picture.
As long as the battery doesn't leak.
I'll tell you, yeah, right. It looks very, very heavy, back heavy to me. Of course, it'd be. I don't know. I never put a set on, so I don't know.
Yeah,
how heavy.
I'd like to, but yeah, it looks very.
They're
bulky.
They're not super heavy.
Look,
see it. Yeah. To try some Google Glass. I never got to experience it before. So
the battery. That's
back
the
here,
battery
that
pack.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna.
It doesn't look. I tell you what, it doesn't look to me. It doesn't look futuristic. No.
Here's the picture I have.
Yeah, I said this is leaked. Yeah, like I didn't say it's correct. That's why I said I don't might not bring it up, but I just thought it was interesting.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Actually, it's on Digital Trends, so I guess you could have read it there first.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
Looks like it's only going to be one-sided.
Before.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I see what you're saying. Well, no, that's a different picture there.
You heard that one here first, too, folks.
One-sided. It's all one-sided. Other Mac rumor.
Yeah, the other rumor. This is also related to the iPhone launch coming up here very, very soon. The rumors are pointing to a 256 gig option, which makes probably some folks happy. Less, I don't need that much now. I will say the 32 gig or not 32. The base is 16 on the current ones, and that is way too small.
That's what's going to get them because they always complain about that. All these people that they start whining and moaning about it's so low. They started 16.
Yeah,
why they started 16?
But in this article also, in addition to 256 gig option, they're saying that the new storage options for the 7 will be 32, 128, and 256. And if that's the case, I think that 32 gig, that's from the average consumer, myself in that, I think that's more than sufficient.
What is
32 gigs for the average consumer?
I think this one's considering 32, and I will probably least a 128 next phone I buy.
I mean, considering a few gigs, you're not gonna get all that. But here's the thing: like I use it a lot when I go traveling on trips and stuff. I use it as my primary camera. Good pictures. But what I'll do is usually before I go on a trip or when I get back, is I'll offload all that stuff off my phone. I do have music, I do have podcasts, but I don't have like apps. So I mean, there's a demand for the bigger size. 2 gig base model is a good thing. So if that's truth, that'd be a bravo for Apple. But we'll see. That's just a rumor.
Yeah, I mean, I think 32 is fine, but minimum I'll do 64.
Well, I've got this is actually, I thought this was a 32. This is actually a 64 that I've got.
Until unlimited.
But I think I couldn't. I think the 6 don't come in. They come in a 32. I think it was 1664.
Too small.
Yeah, but 2.
Yeah, 32. You know, but the data being gone, like I'm putting more and more music on.
But I tell you what bothers me. This is another rant. I know we've had like 3 or 4 tonight, but I'll say this real quickly. I cannot stand they don't have these. They're taking the memory card slots. And iPhones never had a memory card slot, but like some of these Android phones, they're doing away with. It's like, erg. And it's like, gosh, come on, folks.
Got an email from Jason, listener. He said, I'm really enjoying the show tonight. I could tell from Guru talking about keeping his iPhone 6 a little while longer. He's trying to be more conservative with his, maybe use that money for future cruises. He said,
Maybe.
He asked, did Bruce get a sandwich from Domino's tonight? No,
I did not.
He did not. He went to a different competitor.
Yeah, had some of the Italian.
Yes,
variety.
he did. And then
Acme Italian.
and
right.
then added his own pepperoni.
I did.
He came in and opened up like, oh, I think those come with pepperoni. He's like, no, I put those on there myself. I was like, what?
Here's what it is about Jason. See, he's like the guys you see in the Rolls Royce that get out their own Grey Poupon out of the dash. That's what it's about. Yes. Right. Do you have any very expensive pepperoni I might put on my Little Caesar's cheese bread?
Well, all I can say is I really like Boar's Head pepperoni. It's like the best. So I wasn't gonna pay their $1.20 or $1.50 extra to add pepperoni to it. So
don't
like,
let him kid you. He
I'll
likes
just add my own.
expensive pepperoni.
It's
Don't,
good.
yeah,
It's
telling you.
amazing.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, Bruce likes all the nice, fancy,
Whatever.
expensive things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you. That's what you get working
Go.
for Acme Dynamic.
Whatever.
You know.
Go buy Boar's Head pepperoni and tell me it's not good.
Why don't you buy some for me?
Hey, let me tell you something.
Okay.
Boar's Head everything.
That's
It's
true.
good. I mean, you know,
Some
give
of
me
it's
the-
ridiculously expensive.
I had to buy the
that's
budget
true.
brand stuff.
Whatever.
Except when it comes to my technology, and I always choose Apple.
Oh,
It's like I have to buy cheap everything.
Except my Apple.
Except for this. and
Except
that.
my iPhone.
My scuba gear.
hey, Jason, thanks for the
Yeah,
email.
thanks, Jason.
We really appreciate the email very much. So,
Yep.
Numbers.
no,
I can start.
we do
some.
want to
Start one.
We do want to talk about real quick of our friends over there at Superbook. It's up to 2.4.
Wow.
Now they have 37 hours
37 hours to get us up to 2.5
to get
keyboard. Which
the extra $25 if they do that
Yeah.
for backlit.
because I already added the 50 or whatever it was extra for the 1080p screen, 35 extra. Do I need to add another 20? They didn't really clarify that. So if they're listening, send me an
Sure.
email. Yeah.
They're busy counting their money.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. I don't know about listening.
Because I do want the backlit keyboard, so I need to add to it or not.
Well, you're a person. You signed
I'm
up.
a
right?
person, yes.
No, I didn't mean that. You've actually.
I have
put
backed it.
Well, then you can put something out here. You can go down there. You're a contributor.
Yeah, but whatever. They're
Oh,
not
I
gonna-
see what you want. You don't want your name known. You don't want to post something out here.
Yeah.
And you know.
488.
Yeah, 2.488.
Getting close to that 2.5.
We're going to go ahead and cut to break. And we'll pick it up on the backside because we had a little bit of long segment.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you all listening.
Stay
Hey,
with
one
us.
segment left of the Hey Techies Show.
Stay with us.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Located on the square at 109 Ladiga Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Red Threads Apparel carries a wide selection of t-shirt designs for every school function, work party, and much more. They also offer custom layouts for monogrammed attire. Red Threads Apparel is located at 16 Square Unit 8 in downtown Jacksonville on the square. Their business hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information on Red Threads powered by O-Brand, visit their Facebook page at O-Brand Marketing or call 256-770-9880. Cindy's Photography and Fine Arts is available for all your photography needs. She covers weddings, senior portraits, and much more. Cindy is a proud alumnus of Jacksonville State University and is licensed and insured for over 35 years. Cindy's Photography is located at 1765 Broadwell Mill Road in Jacksonville, Alabama. To book a session or for more information, call 256-435-4752.
Offers supplies for school all throughout the year. From books to binders, pencils to scantrons, Jacksonville Bookstore has it all. They are open Monday through Saturday with convenient hours and location on 302 Mountain Street Northwest in Jacksonville. To find out more, like them on Facebook or call 256-435-7407. Jacksonville Bookstore, a proud patron of WLJS.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show.
And if you're not watching the video, you're missing out.
Everybody's got jokes. Man, we're having too much fun. Yeah. Thanks.
Everybody's got
Thanks, Jason,
jokes.
for keeping us entertained for sure.
So what?
Just keep going.
He don't want it to cover what Jason just said. He just wishes he had a mini fridge in his Tesla.
Yeah.
Ronnie and his Grey Poupon.
Oh man.
We are going to turn this fabulous show over. It's a risk, I know. I do it every Thursday, the last 15 minutes, yes, to the guru for this week in tech history.
Yeah, let me get my.
He's ready to be like,
Yeah,
he's picked some like random thing that barely relates to tech.
Related.
Okay.
So here's your date, Bruce.
All right.
And for those who, I say this every week, but for those who are new to the show,
It's August, right?
Yeah, well, of course, but I give Bruce a date. He has to guess. August 17th, 1960.
Oh, that's
your date.
Yesterday. 60.
1960. So that probably had to deal with something with space.
I gotta put this on.
Oh yeah, you gotta start my timer.
Oh, that's right.
So
I'm
gonna go with. I feel like you picked this last year. Is this the first satellite communications? No, but it has to do with space. I'm still gonna go. That's my guess. Is first satellite communications.
That's your guess. First
Yeah,
satellite
he's going.
communication. You're wrong. I'm sorry. The first successful demonstration of the COBOL programming language.
Hey, man.
Yes, August.
What did you
17th,
pick last
1960.
year?
I don't remember. I have to go back and look, but this was one of the first successful demonstration of a printout of a program written in the computer language COBOL. There you go. And we'll have a little link here with some more information about it. This is from the National
COBOL.
No. The Smithsonian National the Museum of American History. And I will say this:
One of them places.
When I went to Washington D.C., it was my first trip there. But I knew I wanted to go to the Air and Space Museum because I love aviation. What?
I'm talking to somebody on my door about it.
Oh, anyway, I'm distracted here. But somebody was with me. Like, let's go to the American History Museum. Okay, yeah, because I always liked American history in school, but there was such a oh, so much neat stuff in the American History Museum. I was like, man, that was my favorite museum. I think of the ones I went to.
The last year on the Hey Techie show, This Week in Tech History was New York Times sends a test to see how fast a commercial message could be sent around the world.
Well, then check the previous week, because that would
be this week, the 20th
of 1960. Is it Guru?
What
the
now?
17th.
17th.
But that's
Okay.
just this would be the same exact week of last
Okay.
year's show.
All right. I feel like you gave me a tough decade there.
Well, I have to.
You have to mix it up.
Keep you on your toes, Bruce.
Well, maybe next time I'll get it.
Yeah. Well, you had a several week winning streak there. I'm sorry I had to break it for you, but can't win them all.
See, we had let's see. Wait a minute. August 13th.
Okay.
We'll try that week. What do we have?
I feel like
astronauts send the first email from space. That was the week of August 13th last year. In August 9, 1991.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I was thinking it dealt with. Well, of course it dealt with satellite. But I was thinking it was something.
But that was the Hey Techie show last year.
Yep. So, good job, man. That was quite a tricky one.
No, cobalt, not cobalt.
I like cobalt. I like cobalt tools.
Speaking of cobalt, not cobalt.
God,
and this just shows like I went through my formal education in computer science. Well, yeah, because like I still struggle with
without a T.
I still struggle with object-oriented programming, but like I will say my COBOL class were my favorite programming classes. I liked it so much. Everybody had to take the basic one. That was a required course, the basic COBOL class. But I liked that one so much I took the advanced as an elective. On a COBOL save my life right now, but anyway.
Still a lot of companies that use it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's some stuff with our ERP that's written in COBOL.
Well, there we go.
There you go.
We got it all done. We've taken care of This Week in Tech History, and ironically enough, we may look back on this next year, Lord willing, that we still have the Hey Techie show, and we'll look back on what we covered the year prior.
Never know.
Yeah. Hack of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, extensively.
Yeah.
And 20-minute hack.
And if you missed that, you can catch it on the.
It's definitely a hack of the week. Larger comes. I mean, it's kind of like you had the Snowden stuff, and then you had the OPM stuff, and it's like, oh, how's this going to get any worse? And it got worse. So it's reigning supreme until something else is released.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the rewind, let's just make sure we tell our listeners, heytechieshow.com.
That's right.
Show notes are there. You can watch the archive of the YouTube video. You can also download our podcast for all these shows, all these great, wonderful shows, including the one from last year.
Wonder if our date's wrong.
We don't have a date on there on the video.
No.
It
Looks like it says August 17th from right here. Corner. Wrong day.
Well, that's in the description. I can fix that.
All right.
It's not in the lower third.
Okay.
Actually, our lower third doesn't work anymore for some weird reason.
That's
But we're
okay.
probably going to lose it anyway when they do something weird with.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably get
they're
more
not-
features.
Yeah, it may come along the line. It's going to be YouTube Live.
Yep. Hopefully, you won't have to subscribe to YouTube Red to see us on YouTube Live.
Oh yeah.
I
Boy,
hope-
we don't
I
want to
hope
talk about
not.
that.
If not, we better start getting paid.
Sure. Well, we got an overclock stack. We probably get it all in tonight.
Well, we got about 6.5 minutes, so let's
Yeah.
see. Y'all
You can be.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Go for
a section of Route 66 will become America's first public solar road. So that's kind of Route 66 is America's highway. So there is an article, according to the Christian Science Monitor, that the Missouri Department of Transportation plans to build America's first public solar-powered road along a section of the famous Route 66. So they're actually going to put solar panels like into the surface of the.
I think this is a super cool idea on paper.
It's made possible by Idaho startup Solar Roadways. Very original name.
It's not economical.
Company's trying to create renewable energy from the lost
It's
energy that hits the surfaces we walk and drive over. So we'll see. There's that company won a 2-year $750,000 contract from the U.S. Department of Transportation to further research solar panel projects. So,
I mean, I think
we shall see.
I think it's worth researching, but when a truck overturns or spills their, what they're carrying on it and it cracks, and the weather or the sun beating down on it, and
I think that's the point.
Well, I know that, but the sun destroys things.
Yeah, if we could just put that pesky sun out.
Let me go
get rid of it.
Let me go correct myself. The $750,000 they got that 5 years ago as a grant to research it, and
no
then
longer be the
your
hottest.
tax.
But then
money.
in 20
I'm fine with that.
in 20
I know you
in 2014 they did a successful crowdfunding effort and raised $2.2 million. So they do this for real. They're going. I mean, this is a project with the Missouri Department of
I
Transportation.
wonder if they got any of that money from the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, probably
just
so.
Out of curiosity.
The money that'll be some money of the Clinton Foundation will go to very good use. At least we can try it.
I mean, I'm fine trying it out. There's definitely a lot of other things that waste their money on.
I think that shouldn't be government money, but that's just Michael's opinion. Private industry should
send your complaints to Michael at HeyTechieShow.com.
That's fine. It's my business.
Oh, it is.
I just don't think that. Well, anyway, we're already in $19 trillion debt. What's another whatever, right? So anyway,
yeah,
I know.
That's the way I'm treating my student loans.
Yeah, apparently so. Did you know that Audi is? They are touting that they're going to have a system in the car that will tell you when the next traffic light is. It counts down the seconds when it's going to be red, when it's going to turn green.
Oh, really? So not just like how far you're away from it, but like when it's going, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Or when you get to go.
Here's what some people are saying, though. The flip side of that is the concern that people will use that to do more texting or things with their phone or whatever device instead of watching.
Just pay less attention to the road.
Other people might say, well, if they know that, then they might jump the gun a little quicker. Yeah, I thought about that.
I mean, there's a lot of
almost like countdown for
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, right.
And it hadn't turned because it's like off a second or something, and then like they plow into somebody and somebody
they show a cool, and we'll post this, but real
light.
quickly they show an image of it right here, and it also has a speed limit sign.
A lot of that's based on GPS. That
okay.
GPS has already had that.
Yeah, I test drove a car one time that had like it would put it right there by the speedometer because it using GPS data
and they tell you that those aren't accurate.
Yeah.
So Google's coming out with a new OS.
I saw this and was gonna.
It does not have a GUI interface, and it is.
Some people have dug through it and said it's not based on Linux.
I don't know. That's the reason why it's in the overclock stack because I didn't get to read a whole lot about it.
Well, they're saying that it's on GitHub. Some of the strains on GitHub, and they've dug through it, and they don't think they think it's a new OS, and it's not based on Linux kernel.
Interesting.
Time will tell.
We'll see.
We're gonna talk more about that next week. Yeah, because
there's
some more. We're going to talk. I hope we get to talk about the viability of that because how many times has that been tried? There's been some times that people have come up. I mean, Linux for crying out loud.
Well, I'll put it this way: if Microsoft keeps doing what they're doing, if Google does it right, and they've got
now what I also read. Now this is bringing what I read to my memory.
Yep,
they think digging through it that this is possibly at the beginning stages of a new of Internet of Things, something that would push and power Internet of Things. So there's several things going on here.
Well,
so we'll see.
We will see.
Let me ask you a question. What's your favorite fast food restaurant? Like that has a drive-through.
It's not McDonald's.
Okay, well, that's fine. Well, we only got like a minute left. But anyway, so one of America's favorite fast food restaurants is getting Apple Pay and Android Pay starting tomorrow. And Chick-fil-A, they are getting Apple Pay and Android Pay. And this started out, somebody tweeted them, is this true? And they're like, yes, as of August 19th, Apple Pay and Android Pay will be available for payment in both the restaurant and drive-thru. They're answering somebody's because they've been a partner earlier this year with Apple Pay, but they're about to roll it out. To go get some Chick-fil-A sandwich tomorrow.
We could have talked to him about that.
But so there you go. So you can use your Apple Pay, Android Pay, and all that.
We didn't cover this, meant to, but McDonald's put out some fitness trackers.
Oh yeah.
Then they had to pull them.
Then they had to end up pulling them because apparently they are causing irritation.
And they have trans fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem, is the trans fat.
Trans fat. They got too close to the fryer. Actually, I think people decided that they couldn't play Pokemon Go at the same time they were wearing them. It was causing irritation. No, I don't know. But they've been
couldn't flick the ball.
Well, thanks so much. Our time has come to a close. But thanks so much for listening. From all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by Mike Stedham and co-produced by The Guru. Station manager is Billy Dunn. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of the Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.